Okay, hello, hello. Welcome, Brandon hyphen Joe colon family of Williams. So excited to have you
Hello.
here.
Thank
Hello.
you.
And also thank you for joining me in our onesie rockstar paraphernalia here. I went
Onesieparty.com.
onesie party. I'm feeling it. That could be a thing. It's a vibe. I'm not going to last long. I'm already like getting flushed in mine, but I wanted to, just show up and arrive and let people know where we stand on this. So thank you for that. And I know there's not many people that I know personally who are going to come on my show who are going to rock a onesie with me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, for everyone who can't see it here, I'll show everybody. This
Yeah,
is
don't
my
don't hold
on some
out.
of my videos. You can see it, but it got like kind of a red panda thing going on. You see what I'm saying? Like like I was saying to
Okay.
you before we started the show, it's like a pillow fight waiting to happen. This whole thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. All right. I'll do a shot to that. I know it's earlier by you, but
Damn, look at you
I,
drinking and onesies. You're like my party girl. Let's go.
well, here's the thing. So it's my birthday month. So
Oh,
also celebrating, but I did just come off of 30 days, no alcohol, no sugar, no
oh,
nothing. So I really dove into your course and I wanted to like give it as much, give my brain and my psyche as much of a chance as possible to like absorb that information because it's a lot. So yeah, so I made it. It was ended the 30 days 2 days ago. So here we are.
ooh,
So you got to
beautiful.
detox to retox, I guess. Cheers.
Post course onesie pillow fight party
Celebratory. Yep, exactly.
with complete with whiskey.
Feeling it. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so excited. This is really all I think about ever anymore.
Join the club.
Um, yeah. So I don't want to bore the shit out of your listeners if any of your guys are coming over here, but also for the people who are going to be watching from my show, this will be the first time hearing about all this stuff for a lot of them. So, um,
What is your show? Is your show mainly about music and like the industry, or is your show more about anything and everything you want to talk about?
it's broad. Yeah, broad
Okay.
spectrum. So, but freedom. So, freedom podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If you see the freedom back there.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything pertaining to mind, body, spirit, liberation. I've been looking into this for a couple of years now, but I hadn't done anything with it because I was following like, just bits and pieces like breadcrumb trails, David Straight, stuff like that on Telegram. And like nothing made sense really. And then lo and behold, one day, the gods smiled upon me and graced me with your glorious pickle website. And I was like, you know what? This is it. Like, this is my dude. So,
My
and
face
like,
is a chair.com, you know?
so, okay, I have to take this off now. Not because you said that.
Right
Not
out.
because you
This is
said it.
perfect. Look at this. This is
Not
perfect.
because you said that.
This
Because
is as good as it gets. This is as good as it gets.
fucking insanely hot as hell.
Amazing. Amazing. This podcast couldn't get any better. We're starting off
Hot as Hades.
on the best foot here.
It's funny. I was actually talking to one of my friends about that, and they're like, "You gonna wear a onesie? Like, you look like you have to show people you're a female." So I was like, "Well, just
Well, taking it
take
off
care of
is the
that."
best way to really. It's like coming on. It's like coming in, like on stage with like a thing over you, and you're like a homeless person. You throw it off, and it's like, boom, here I am,
Unveiling,
kind of a thing. Yeah,
unveiling. Yeah.
it's hot. I'm
So,
a fan.
all right, cool. Glad we worked that out. Got some things taken care of. So, I finished your contract killer course, which is awesome. And so people can find you at onestupidfuck.com, your
Or my
website.
face is a chair.com, depending on who you are.
Right, exactly. That might not everyone would be not everyone is going to be into that. So the people know where to find you. You got to give the people what they want. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's too much fun. We're having too much fun.
So I finished your contract killer course, which was awesome. I'm going back through now and I'm watching the advanced course on video 3. And then I just watched your video with Jorge, where he did the discharging the debt thing. So
Very cool.
So moving along with my own stuff, I've sent in my revocation of election and just working on putting together my first discharge credit stuff. So, which is a lot. So I'm not like prepared to do anything further with that yet, but that's where I'm at with that. But Kit, go ahead.
The discharge stuff doesn't really work without litigation, just so you know. I mean,
That's what I thought.
you can kind of get them to like sort of go away and like kind of get like maybe it'll be on your record, maybe you won't, but just kind of like it's if you really want to get the stuff to really go away fully, and ideally you get the stuff to go away and you get paid. That's the way I want to do it. I'm doing everything like that now. It's like if I'm not getting paid, then it ain't, you know what I mean? Like it
Right.
ain't even worth my time. Like not only are the debts going to go away, but I'm going to get paid for having to even deal with it in the first place.
Okay. All right. So I guess I need to get further along in, all your videos and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but you can send shit in. I mean, I was like, yeah, send this in. People are like, should I send this in? Should I do this? I'm like, yeah, send it all. Fucking do it. It's like, you're never going to get anywhere if you don't just start sending shit somewhere, send anything
right.
anywhere. After 2 years of doing this, nobody gets in trouble for literally anything. So I'm just kind of like,
You might as well.
send in whatever
Yeah.
you want. I used to send in fucking Polaroids of me in this onesie.
Right.
I have a pickle outfit. I used to send love letters. I used to I used to write love letters on the Polaroids.
I love that.
I
Yeah,
used
I
to
just
do all
watched that
sorts of shit.
video in like the advanced course. I think that's where you was like sending in pickle Polaroids to people at the IRS. Like,
Yeah, fuck yeah.
yeah, show this around the office, the cubicle. You'll be the most popular person in the IRS
I've
office.
only had one person ever send me back the Polaroid, and that was the Social Security Administration.
Were they upset or were they feeling it? Were they like, hey, I'm not into this?
No idea. They just sent it back with a letter, and I was pissed. But everybody else kept it. I'm on probably 7 different, hopefully women, desks right now as we speak, looking at them every day when they come into work.
Yeah.
7 or 8. There's not like I didn't send out like a ton of these things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So one day they're going to be like collector items on
Worth
eBay or
something.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So hang on to those, ladies.
Yeah.
Speaking of the ladies, so you have bikinis on your website, but you don't have anything like, you don't have Speedos, which is a big thing down here in South Florida. Like all the dudes wear Speedos. There's endless butt cheeks everywhere in South Florida. So
I have swimming trunks. I have male swimming trunks.
it's not the same,
I know.
The ladies need some eye candy too.
Well, I'd be the mankini then.
Is that on your website? On your
No, that's just
merch?
like that's what my logo is. That's what I'm on. Did you see my my bio page?
I did, and it was such a treat. I got to tell you. So I
Yeah,
didn't
see?
know about your bio page until recently, and I had the pleasure of scrolling through it. And yeah, the
No, the picture at the
mankini.
top though. Yeah, the picture at the
Yeah,
top. Right?
yeah, the mankini. That's where it's at. So good for you. Uh,
That's basically our version of male swimwear. You know what I mean?
yeah, enhanced. Do you bust
Yeah.
that out at the beach ever? Or
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't in a long time, but I would. Yeah, definitely. I have 2 upstairs, but one I can only wear one of them because the other one you're pretty much naked. It's just
yeah,
not. It needs to be a little bit bigger for me because I'm like
are the,
6'1".
are the babes feeling it? Babes are into it.
They just laugh hysterically and run over and they want to talk to you. Yeah, it's a combination of at first they're like laughing hysterically and then that turns into attraction after that subsides. But it's
It's like
sometimes they're laughing like crazy for like 15 entire minutes. So you have to like get past that part before they're
it's like
really
bringing
like
a puppy
yeah,
to the party. Yeah, cool. Right on.
it's beautiful.
I like it. Well, yeah, it seems like you found your niche in life, which is awesome.
Yeah, when we hang out, I'll wear a mankini for you. We'll go to the beach.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Can you see how red my face is? Like you made me blush. Look at that.
Yeah,
I need
it's
to
good.
go turn.
It's
I need to go
perfect.
turn my AC on. I'm like sweltering in here. I had to turn it off because it's so fucking loud in here when it comes on. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to turn it on.
It's loud. Huh? Is it like a window thing?
It's no. It's just it's you'll see in a second. We'll be
Okay.
fine. Entertain yourself. Hold on.
Dude, 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 dude.
Okay. Holy hell. Okay, we're back at it.
I don't think I can really hear it. Maybe barely.
Not too bad.
No.
Okay, good. Carry on. All right. So I have so many questions for you. I resisted ever sending you a message because I know that you probably just get like exorbitant amount of messages and I never wanted to bother you, but I have so many questions and I'm not going to bombard you now with them either.
I I like
because
people asking me questions on shows because then all the other people who are going to be bothering me and annoying the fuck out of me could just watch the show and get the answers. So I actually prefer being asked a lot of questions on shows than I do on DMs, just so you know.
what I was going to say, perfect. I was just going to ask you to give a brief, like, kind of overview for the people who are hearing this for the first time of what it is the contract killer course does, and like what you're doing with this work for the people who don't know about like the birth certificates, or like a better question, I guess, would be,
No, I can answer
um,
that. So, so what it is that we live in a world that people don't understand. Okay, it's very simple. So we live in a world where there are papers and there are computer forms and there are things being pushed over to you to sign throughout your life, and you do not read them, you do not understand them, you do not want to read them, you do not try to read them, you do not ask questions about them. You sign them, and then you move forward in your life, and then you are confused as to why various things are occurring in your life, etc. And then when finally asked, why did you fill out that IRS form, or why did you fill out the driver's license in that way, or why did you fill out your passport in that way? And the answer is going to be, well, I didn't know, and I thought it was this thing, and we all just assume that it's this thing. And I have done a lot of research to realize that none of that is anything close to what you think it is, and none of the usage of any of the words are anywhere close to what you think they are. And everything means something different than what you think it means. And you never needed to sign any of that shit ever at any point in time. And that we live in a voluntary system where the way that the system works is you had an opportunity to ask questions, you had an opportunity to figure out what things are, you had an opportunity to figure out what the contract is when you sign up for a driver's license. And instead, you didn't ask, you didn't inquire for additional information. You went in, you took your picture, you filled out a very simple application, and you signed, at this point in time, a small digital pad uh, with God knows what's behind it. I mean, who knows? I mean, sign here, sir. Okay. And then the signature gets printed on the front of the driver's license. You have no idea what that contract is, or what you signed up for, or you just thought you had to, and
right.
that's the end of the story. And what my platform is, and what I teach, and what the Contract Killer course teaches is, what does all this stuff mean, and what various aspects are at play in relationship to all these different things, and how can you change all of these contracts or eliminate all of these contracts as you see fit, after breaking down and understanding a lot of the aspects of the way these contracts are put together and what they mean and why they are there. For example, the definition of the term naturalization means the conferring of nationality of a state upon a person after birth by any means whatsoever. And it comes from Title 8 of the United States Code, Section 1101, subsection 823. When you you realize that when you go and get a driver's license, what's happening is that you are actually signing under penalty of perjury to the fact that you are a resident of state of California. Resident means a temporary location that a person is at, usually for some sort of business related purpose, and they intend to return to their original domicile at some point in the future. That is the actual legal definition of the word resident.
Okay.
Definition of state of California, when they say it like that, they're referring to a corporation that is located in the District of Columbia. California Republic and state of California are two entirely different things, entirely different structures, entirely different locations. So when you naturalize, which means to confer nationality of a state upon a person after birth by any means whatsoever, by stating that you are a resident, which has sort of a weird emotional undertone to it, they don't use the word domicile.
Mm-hmm.
of state of California, what's happening is that you are now volunteering to be located in the position or location called state of California. Now, when you do that, you are contractually signing in to follow the rules of this location called, this nation or state called the state of California. Inside of state of California, there are traffic laws. The definition of traffic, when you look up the legal definition of traffic, it means commercial flow using motor vehicles. So it means transporting property or cargo or persons for compensation. That's what traffic. It's the commercial controlling or commercial laws or commercial corporate bylaws associated with transporting people, persons, or cargo or property for compensation, right?
Okay.
Now, a ticket is a complaint. Complaint means lawsuit. When you sue someone, you file a complaint, right? It's a complaint for breach of contract. So you have naturalized into state of California by getting a driver's license, and now you are under the contractual obligation of the traffic laws associated with state of California. You have violated those traffic laws, thus you have breached the contract. So a ticket is a breach of contract. If you had never naturalized into the corporation called state of California in the first place, meaning if you have never gotten a driver's license in the first place, police literally cannot write you tickets because you had never naturalized of your own free will into a foreign corporation zone called state of California.
Okay.
So you can't get a ticket because the ticket is for breach of contract. If there was no contract to originally, meaning a driver's license, or let's say voter registration is another one where they make you sign under penalty of perjury that you are a resident of a foreign corporation called state of California. If you don't ever contract into state of California, then you never naturalize into state of California. If you never naturalize into state of California, then you can't possibly be filed a lawsuit or complaint for breach of contract.
Right.
That's simple.
Okay. But I think when you're first like having these conversations, like when I'm talking to my friends and family about this kind of stuff, like I want to be able to explain it in a clear, concise way where they understand it and I'm not throwing a lot of unnecessary stuff that's over their head at them. So, like the simplest way to communicate what actually it means to become a state national, I think that's super important. Um, some of the definitions that I've heard when people talk about this stuff, it's just like it's so insane. It sounds super out there, and people get really freaked out about like everyone, the IRS is coming to get me if I do this stuff, and even talking to like some of my family about it. People are like, "Well, you better be careful. They're going to bang down your door with machine
The
guns."
IRS is the only organization I've ever had the pleasure to work with that actually follows the law.
Wow.
There,
So,
there are you will never probably see me filing litigation against the Internal Revenue Service. You'll probably see me file litigation against almost every single organization because I'm just having a blast. Like I intend on suing basically everything under the sun, moon, and stars forever for the rest of my life. But the one organization that you'll probably never see me file a lawsuit on, most likely, is the Internal Revenue Service. It's the only organization that I probably will never sue.
and that's
And
the one that everybody's freaked out by.
the reason why is because the Internal Revenue Service follows the law very, very specifically,
Okay.
very, very specifically, and very, very unemotionally, and very, very the problem is this is the society we live in. We have the Internal Revenue Service. The Internal Revenue Service follows the law extremely well. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best application of the law, there are very, very few organizations, if not just a small handful, if not really the only one I can think of. It's the Internal Revenue Service, and then everybody else is far below that point. The problem with the relationship between most individuals and the Internal Revenue Service is that the Internal Revenue Service is operating entirely and completely by the law. no one understands the law. They understand some weird, completely false idea of what they think the law is. The IRS never corrects anyone or educates anyone in what the actual law is. It
Hmm.
simply ignores that of which is unlawful or insane.
Okay.
So until
So
you understand the law and you behave within the confines of the law, the IRS will essentially ignore you or steamroll you. Once you learn the law and you start to operate within the confines of the law, they do exactly what you want them to do immediately and without any hesitation or difficulty.
what's what like your videos gave me so much confidence in because I didn't have to file a W-8 ban or anything. I'm independent contractor. So, but for people who are having to file the W-8 BEN, you actually said if your employer doesn't accept that form, you can actually call the IRS and they will kind of work
I
with you.
yeah, well,
You getting steamy in there too?
yeah, you want to see my chest like in the videos?
I mean, yeah, don't hold out. Yeah.
Should I do a little nipple rub for you?
Always nipple rub. Always. I don't know why we didn't start out with that.
We should always
should
start out with a nipple
should have
rub. This
led
is
with
great.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
how you get the people to show up.
You got to
Bring
give the
bring the
people
boys
what
all to
they
the yard. You know
want.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, your milkshake
Bring all the
brings
boys
all
to
the
the
boys
yard,
to the
you know?
yard. Yep. Yeah,
So,
don't hold out.
boy, I totally forgot the question now. You got me on an
Um,
entirely different track here.
yeah, sorry. So so the IRS will actually you can call the IRS if like your employer
Oh,
is not
oh.
accepting your W8BN
It was
and
working for a while, but now that this is
now
getting
it's
so
not.
big, I've been hearing reports of where like you get on the phone with them and you ask about it and they go, "Oh, hold on one second, sir." And they transfer you to a recorded message
Okay.
that basically says, "We are no longer offering any services or
We're
help
not going to
over the
help you.
phone." Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be false. It could be just a couple of reports that I've gotten. I don't know. But we were doing that for a long time, and for a long time, yeah, the IRS was literally calling employers and explaining that this is real and that they should be taking the WABEN form. Yeah. So
Do it.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, they may shut down anyone asking any questions to the IRS. You know, a lot's happening, so maybe they're getting nervous, or you know, the IRS is very simple because if they want something to change within the internal behavior of the Internal Revenue Service, all they do is they just issue policies and they just issue a copy to everyone, and then the people read it, and then they just there's no real. It's a very mechanistic machine. You know,
Sure.
it's there's not a lot of independent thinking that goes on in the Internal Revenue Service. Which might be why they're so close to the law and they do such a good job following the law, because
Sure.
if there was a lot of independent thinking, the law probably wouldn't be getting followed. So it's kind of a catch-22. It's like a double-edged sword, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember I was going back through, I couldn't remember which video it was. It was in the beginning of your contract killer course, but you said like if you're worried about it, you can go to your bank and tell them something. And I don't remember what that information was to that no one has access to my bank account. So I haven't touched any of my funds. I have some of my banks, some are in like an independent financial institution. So like should I be worried about that? Should I move my money? Are people concerned about that? Like after I sent in my ROE, is that something?
No, once you send in your ROE, especially if you don't currently have any real issues or any real like bills or anything or like unpaid previous years, that's we've never had an issue. It's really
No.
easy.
So for people who are worried, like, because my family lovingly is like, they're gonna come, they're gonna come after you. They're gonna go in your banks and all your, different accounts and take this. And I'm like, well, fuck, I didn't worry about that before, but maybe I should. So you've never heard of anyone
Nope.
having any issues like that?
Nope. Plus, it's like when they send you a bill of exchange, which is a unconditional order to pay, you can do the endorsement process and you can send it back and they'll process it. They won't send you an invoice. They won't send you a receipt. They're not going to be like, "Oh my God, you're the greatest. Like, here's a receipt." But if you ask for it, they'll give you a payment receipt. They'll process it. It's very easy to work with the IRS.
Okay.
I mean, there is no way with the IRS that I would ever be worried about getting into a situation that I would need to even litigate to get resolved. And to be honest with you, I cannot think of another organization on the planet that I could say that for besides the Internal Revenue Service. Even the
Interesting.
Department of State. I have a client right now who filled out a passport in a certain way, and if they dick him around, we're going to go into litigation because. But if they don't, then fine. The Department of State's really easy to work with, but I could totally see myself at some point in time needing to litigate to get something done there.
Okay.
With the IRS, I just
Not the
don't have. I
case.
don't think I'll ever need to litigate against the IRS,
Cool.
honestly.
Well, good to know. I mean, that's comforting for a lot of people to hear who are just getting into this. And also, for myself, I'm still kind of a baby in all of this. Um, Next step is like getting my passport and doing all that. So I ordered my birth certificate a couple months ago, and I was born outside of Chicago. So it takes like 6 months to get it. So I should be getting it in June.
Yeah.
And how long did yours take initially? Was it months or?
Yeah, 4 months, something like that. Yeah,
I
I'm
helped.
in Northwest Indiana, right outside of Chicago, where
Oh,
I'm from.
okay.
So
Right on. Yeah. So
Midwesterners, what's up?
Midwesterners.
Yeah.
What's up? Also, we have another thing in common. I used to have a landscaping company for like
Oh my
10
God,
years.
look at
And
you.
then also randomly, this is super weird. I guess like I was laughing because I'm like, wow, it's true. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. I just didn't think it would be a dude in a pickle costume, like come and teach me about the fucking law. And so I'm like, okay, well, universe works in mysterious ways. But I was scrolling through your bio and stuff, and you gnome your clients, like go and put gnomes. Like for years, I put trolls under bridges, like the little trolls with the little jewels in their belly. So landscaper, also trolling people.
Oh my God, look at you.
How weird is that, though?
Total pillow fight material. This is great.
Okay, love it. Keep going. We'll keep working things out here, making the connections. I like it.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
Drink to that again.
What is that? Is that a Truly?
White Claw.
Oh my God.
Ain't no laws.
White girl
Drinking
in the
claws.
house. What's up?
It's true. What can I say? Yeah, just call me Becky.
I love it. Yeah.
Basic Becky. Look, you know what? There's 2 carbs. Okay, it's always bikini season here. Like,
No, I know.
got to work things out. And the tequila is a probiotic, so
That's the big one. That's not the small one. That's like the bigger
no,
one, isn't it? That's the
no,
normal one.
it's a normal one. I'm not
It
just
just
over here
looks
crushing tall boys. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
there
that's
you
the
go.
normal one.
Beautiful.
We're gonna keep it classy. I'm a lady, I'm not gonna be
Duh.
pounding 40s or whatever.
Yeah. No oldies here. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe.
You show up like Edward 40 hands on the show. You got like tape around your hands. You're like,
Now
"Yo,
I
what's
know you're
up?"
really from the Midwest.
Yeah.
That's
Edward
definite
40
Midwest
hands in
thing.
the house.
Slap the bag. You ever get into that? Slap the bag? No?
No, just Edward 40 hands.
Oh, that was the thing. So like you get a bag of Franzia because that's all anyone could afford. Like the rosé like bag. It's like $4 for like a box of wine.
No, we did
Bag
Boone's
out.
Farm.
I never was exposed to that.
Thank God. That's why you're alive.
I don't really know much about that. I've heard of it, but
Yeah, it's horrifying.
I hear good
Four
things.
Locos. Four Locos.
Did you ever see the who does it? The College Humor guys do the Four Locos commercial.
I think
It's
so.
like the honest Four Locos commercial. Please go watch it after you get off the show. It's
Four
a laugh.
Locos.
It's good. Yeah, they're like, if you want to be stabbed to death by a hobo with a pair of box cutters, have a Four Loco.
Yeah.
If you want your brain to be like put in a fucking MRI machine for 6 months, and also have this fucking thing I just found, and they put a dead rodent on like an old stinky hamburger, and like if you want a flavor as delicious as Four Locos, here you go. Yeah,
That's
cute.
about right. That's about right.
I've also never had the pleasure. My little brother got into those. So I was like, that explains a lot. So
We'll do Four Locos
goofball.
one day, me and you.
All right. Yeah. Are you ever, if you make your way down to South Florida, which is like so appropriate because everything in South Florida is the weirdest thing ever. Like, have you spent any time down here?
I have never. Oh, wait. I stayed in Fort Lauderdale for like 5 days in 2021, I think.
Oh, that's right after I moved here. I live in Fort Lauderdale. So,
Oh, Fort Lauderdale's amazing. Oh my God. I loved it. I love it.
Yes. I moved here like 2 months before COVID hit, which was good and interesting. It was like, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. So then the world shut down. I was like, great. So drank a lot
I
of
stayed
tequila.
in the Los Olas Hyatt.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I play down there. I'm a musician, so I play at night. Yeah. I play right on Los
right
Olas.
next to the that park there, and then just west of there is the rooftop lounge, and then just west of there is the what's that huge crazy ass outdoor spot? It's like has the two bars. It's called like
The give me a second.
it's like absolutely completely insane. Like it's like the most insane thing I've ever seen. There's
The
like
Wharf.
the wharf.
The Wharf. Yeah.
God,
There's like 20
Jesus,
bars and food trucks, and it's
dude,
amazing. I love it.
that was a trip. It was
Yeah.
like 65% women, and I was just like, what is this? Like, what is this place? And there's like all the girls are like laughing and giggling, and they're like all having a blast, and they're with their friends, and I was just like, have I died and gone to heaven? Like, am I in heaven? Is this heaven? I was just sitting at the picnic table and just like watching all the girls roll in, and I was just like, this is like the greatest place I've ever been in my life.
Well, I think your mankini would do well here. So there are reasons for us to be friends, because you could come here
Yes.
and roll out the mankini, and like I could,
Yes.
show you around. And
So much yes. The backside of the mankini is horrifying, though. I have to admit. I don't even put it online because it's just so like it's like legit gonna get me like banned or something. It basically looks like I don't have anything, that I'm wearing anything at all, essentially.
like dental floss.
It's like dental floss. Yeah.
Good. I mean, if you like spray tan, you just spray tan everything, like, and you won't have any worries. Like, I just got a spray tan today, which was why I'm so fucking oddly shiny. Actually, I'm going to use this shirt to just kind of pat myself on.
Hey, look at that. This is like the greatest advertising campaign I've ever seen.
Hold on, I'm a little moist.
You're like, hey, I'm a little moist. And then you're like, onestupidfuck.com.
So I'm not a t-shirt girl. I need to modify this. And you were out of the crop tops, and they were also
They don't make them anymore. They won't let me make them anymore.
$6,900. 69.
They're 69, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
because you can't buy them. It's a joke.
Yeah.
But I like the descriptions and stuff, and I was selling them at one point in time. So instead of taking it down, which is like stupid, I decided to just leave it up and change the price. And then you open it up and it says like this product has been discontinued, right? But
well, yeah. So I'm gonna modify it though, like so it works for me. I mean,
do it.
And then I got your books too. I had a
oh my god, look at you.
So I read this one because I'm a girls like romance. So read this one first. But this one also, like, I'm getting so much information out of this one. But when I checked out on Amazon, your books were $69 as well. I thought you would appreciate that.
Wait, what?
Your books were $69, like before tax. Both of them together.
Oh, both of them together. Oh, okay. That's funny. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. Is he clever enough to do that on purpose?
No,
potentially.
I didn't even. Yeah.
Potentially.
That's beautiful.
My favorite part about this book was actually I was fucking crying laughing when I read it, where you're like talking about non-attachment to outcome dependency. So you're like, so ideally in a relationship, you want to get to the point where a woman could be straddling you for like 15 minutes and then she just gets up and walks off and you're like, cool, I'm just, laying back, I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Or for a woman, she walks in the house and there's like rose petals scattered everywhere. She walks in the bathroom, there's like smooth jazz playing. You walk in the bathroom, candles everywhere, and you're expecting to find like a bubble bath, and you walk over and instead there's a note, picks it up and says, I ran off with your sister, go fuck yourself. I was fucking crying. It's like, what the fuck? I just like, for me, I'm always like, humor by any means necessary. Like my family, we like laugh at funerals. So like if anyone ever has to break up with me, please fucking do that. That's
oh my God, I love it. That's
primo.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Extra primo. Good. So good.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I really enjoyed those. Those are awesome. And also, I mean, I wanted to support you for all the wealth of information you've been for me. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I love it.
And you write exactly how I want to read too. Like,
yeah,
I love like the brevity in there is amazing. It's like bullet points, which is all I ever really want. Like, I feel like people overtalk, and I'm such a huge like introvert, I guess. Like, I already don't want to talk to you. Like, I perform and that's enough for me. So over talking kind of overwhelms my brain. So you write in like everything is pertinent, very poignant points. I love that. So
well, thank you.
So people watching, get the books. They're good. Good stuff.
Thank you very much. Wow. I've never had so much love and appreciation and advertising in a show before. I appreciate that. Thank you so
Oh
much.
man, yeah. Least I can do for all the humor and the joy you brought
I
to my
love it.
life
Thank you.
and the pickle costumes. I had to. I feel like I had to give that back. Had
I
to
love it.
return that. So, um, the battery,
Yeah.
recycling that. So,
The pillow fight. Yeah, exactly.
was that my idea or yours? I can't remember. I feel like it's
Whichever one
just
you
been
want it to be.
implanted in there. I feel like, yeah, that was good. Just indelibly planting that into my psyche. Now
Yeah,
got that.
yeah.
I totally lost track of where we were. I don't know what's happening. Where are we?
I was going to show you my nipple.
So good. Yeah. That's actually like something I say to people when I'm like, I'm not gonna you say I'm not gonna hold your dick. That's like, I'm not gonna tickle your nipples. It's something I've said like forever. So
Yeah,
it's kind of same thing. I
that's
feel
good
you.
shit.
But I do appreciate for all of the fans of the show, they're gonna love the nipple. So thank you for
Yeah,
sharing
good.
that. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
It's a little racy. They're gonna love it.
We're here. We aim to please. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Give them what they want. Um, I have a bunch of notes and I'm not going to go over probably any of them because I feel like we're having too much fun just talking shit here. What do you want people to know? You're doing a lot of stuff. Did you already do that convention or is that still coming up? That
No,
speaking
I'll be
convention?
in Austin, Texas from the 19th of March until April 4th. And then I go from Austin, Texas. I'm doing a bunch of in-person shows, and I'm going to try to drum up as much as I can while I'm there. I have a whole bunch of open days. So I'm going to try to like just do whatever I can and put together whatever I can while I'm there. I have a lot of really huge connections like Luke Story and Alex Zek, and then they're introducing me to all their friends out there. So I have a Kyle Kingsbury, I think it is, who I'm not too familiar with, but I know he has a big show. And then there's a big thing I'm going on this Wednesday. I'm going on with let's see here, a lot of speakers from the Bandera, Texas, the Confluence event thing. Curtis Stone, I'm going on with him on Wednesday, him and Alex Zek. So all this whole, I'm like kind of being invited into this like really cool, really kind of what I would consider kind of higher level groups of people that have large platforms that have to do with spirituality or living a better life or being a better husband or whatever it is. I don't really totally know all their different platforms, but it's just kind of along that line of live a better life essentially.
Right.
But it's just like, it's not like bullshit though. It's not just like some fluffy ass horse shit.
No.
It's like real shit, like really helping people, like really influencing people's lives. And I love that. I mean, that's basically what I do. It's just that what I do is kind of not what you would normally see in any of those circles. So I'm sort of like a breath of fresh air to a lot of these people, and they really enjoy and they see a lot of value in what I do, and I'm being sort of invited into a lot of these circles now. So I'm going out to Austin to basically just kind of connect with these various groups and subcultures, or however you want to say it, nations. And then on the 4th, I travel to Bandera, Texas to do the Confluence event in Bandera, Texas, which is my first in-person speaking event.
Okay.
And I'm very, very excited. I'll be meeting Dr. Andrew Kaufman there, who I did a show with. I'm very excited about meeting him in person.
I watched that show. He
Yeah,
was in the process of litigation. I don't know when that show released, but I don't
very
know if
recently.
okay,
Very, very
so
like
he's probably
2-3
still
weeks
going
ago
through
or
that.
something. Oh yeah,
It's
this
going to
takes
be,
forever. Yeah.
yeah, like a year's timeline,
No, months.
months.
Months
Okay.
is usually how long it takes to do these things. But
Well, I think that it's so cool you're connecting all those people. Um, I studied holistic healing for years, like 20 years ago, kind of started getting into like alternative homeopathic stuff and Reiki and energy healing and all this stuff. And like my whole life just kind of, I guess, putting back together elements of my soul, right?
mhm.
And never did I think in a million years that like learning this stuff, learning law and like legal jargon was going to be one of the final elements that would really spiritually align me. It was kind of like a missing piece that I didn't know I needed. So, and that's kind of what it felt like when I learned all this stuff. I was like overwhelmed, spiritually, but in a good way. And I thought like you said, so many people get pissed off when they learn this stuff, but it was the opposite for me. I felt like at peace, maybe, and safe, probably more than I ever have felt in my whole life. So
I
it
love
really,
that.
it really connected that. And yeah, there were a couple times just like contemplating it on my own. Like I said, I quit drinking for a month and
Mm-hmm.
just really, integrated that into my like DNA. And there were a couple times, I mean, I was like just misty eyed about it. Like, this is so profound. And I had wanted this information for so long. And I don't think it comes to you until you're spiritually what I call on the level. I don't think that like what I call the mouth breathers, like the knuckle the knuckle draggers, like just
Yeah.
like that, like the people who won't get it. Like you're not going to get it until you're, I think maybe supposed to. I don't know,
Yeah,
because
I
I
can see
wanted to
that.
learn this stuff for a while, and like I just couldn't put it together. It just wasn't making sense. Um, and then one day it just clicked. It just
Well, when I
resonated.
started, there wasn't anyone really explaining it in a Beavis and Butthead kind of a way like what I do. It just didn't
Which
exist. It just
it's
literally
so
didn't exist.
important,
Yeah,
like
it
what
just
you're
didn't
doing.
exist. Yeah, it just
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
So I went online and all I could find is like old guys who meant well. They really cared about the
Mm,
country to the point where they're fucking pissed, which is understandable. And you just can't, I couldn't do it. Just like
hmm.
big words all over the place. And I just like anger and the frustration and just like, I just couldn't do it. So I went online and I started buying books on Amazon. I bought a ton of books. And then my first version of my website was supposed to be a text only version of a lot of the information that I was seeing in the books in more of a fun, linear, sensible format and for
Right,
free. And for free, right?
right.
That's what the first version of the website is. If you go on the Wayback Machine, which is how you can look at websites all the way back to like 1991 or maybe even before that. And you can look at all the different updates and you can pull up old versions of websites and all sorts of fun things on the Wayback Machine. If you go on there and you go back to my first 3 or 4 months, there was no logo, there was no branding, there was no free contract killer course. There was just the state national theory page, which is just text. And it was much smaller and much less awesome than it is now.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of where we started. In fact, 10 days from now is our 2-year anniversary.
Yay! Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll drink to you,
Drink to that.
and for me.
Drink to that. Pillow fight for that. Definitely.
One for you, one for me.
Yeah.
Um, damn it, it's gone.
I just
I
say
had
pillow
to.
fight now, and you're just like,
Yeah.
whoosh, you're just clear. I just clear the computer
Like,
here.
stop it. My face cannot get any redder. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to turn my air on again. It didn't work. Hold on. I'm going to leave
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
You need like a little fan or a spray bottle or something.
I do. I do. I need
Even your
a
hair's getting frizzy now. Look at you. You're like all
mister.
floated out.
I know. I know. I have really curly hair too. So it like, poof, looks like I stuck my finger in a light socket when I go outside.
This is why I stay in California.
I cannot do the dry heat though. Like,
Really?
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's so dry. Like when I've been
Oh, I
in
love
to
it.
San Diego and like
Oh my God, San
camped
Diego's the
up in
best.
Mount Shasta. I have a buddy who lives in Mount Shasta and he's doing like the med bed stuff, retreat center
Yeah, yeah.
thing out there. And I was up there. He's a state national too. And he was the first person I met that was doing this stuff. But he would never like give me like real information. I'd be like, so like, tell me something. And he would just come down the mountain and say something like, in like, I don't know, something cryptic. And I'd be like, is that a fucking riddle? And then he would just go back into the mountains of Mount Shasta. But yeah, so I've been up there and like my skin gets dry. Like down here, it's moist, like the moisture,
Hmm.
Florida. Yeah. I can't do the dry heat.
I'm the opposite because I'm on a motorcycle a lot. So it's
Oh, right.
It's the humidity is death on a motorcycle. I mean, because you can't get away from it.
Oh yeah, because you got to wear all the leather and everything too. So yeah, you would die
Well, a lot of
here.
people in Florida ride around without that shit because they're fucking dumb. I don't do that.
Oh, everybody is like Forrest Gump level IQ
T-shirts and
here.
yeah, like
Yeah,
fucking bandanas and shit. And it's just like, wow, like not me, bro. Not happening.
it's a different type of creature that lives in South Florida. Like, have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's like a documentary about
Yeah, yeah,
South
yeah.
Florida. Yeah.
I don't know. I had a blast there. I mean, to the point where I was like, holy shit. I had a blast
It is
down
fun.
there.
It's so fun. There's a
Oh
reason
my
I moved
god.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like wow. That's probably one of the craziest weekends of my life.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's a fun place for sure.
Yeah. Cuz I did a whole Florida tour at that time. So
Okay.
I started in Fort Lauderdale, then I went to go see my mom, and that's when Hurricane Katrina hit, and I was in Naples when that hit.
Oh, wow.
And then I stayed there with her through that, and then I Ubered past military and destroyed everything through all the freeways, all the way up to Tampa.
Okay.
And then I stayed with a friend there for a few days, and then I went to Orlando and stayed with one of my best friends in Orlando for probably a week or 10 days. And then I went back to Tampa. And I Ubered all through all that, and it was all right after the hurricane destroyed everything. So it was
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah.
kind of a wild experience. That whole 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it was is kind of like a blur. And I also was sick for most of it, but like kept going out every night, even though I was like sick.
Yeah, you got to push through. I mean,
Yeah, it was
again,
pretty.
that's Midwest ethic. Like we don't quit. That's
Yeah, yeah, it was wild.
just
It
keep
was a
going.
wild time. Florida is a whole different animal.
It was
I like the mountains and I like the dry heat of California.
yeah. Yeah, I think for a little bit I can do it.
Yeah,
California's fun. Yeah, for a little
yeah,
bit, but then I got to come
yeah.
back to the humidity for sure.
I love it.
For sure. Yeah. There. Oh my God. I wanted to ask you about Slow Jamistan. Is that? I saw like a video about that, and you are an ambassador for that. Is that? Are they all state nationals, or is that just like a funny thing? Oh, we don't know. Okay,
No idea.
we don't know. Could just be like a fun
I'm not
whatever.
sure if they even know. He definitely has a lot of interaction with various organizations and government organizations, and they drive around in a police car and they have their own fire truck. So I'm
We don't
sure
know.
there's some relationship building or whatever, and I'm sure the guy does all sorts of craziness, but it's not explaining how it all works is not really a part of what he's doing.
Got
Um,
it.
which maybe he will at some point, maybe he won't, but he's not really doing what I'm doing where he's trying to teach people how all this works. He's just
Okay. Just for
fucking doing it.
the
Yeah.
joy of it. Yeah.
He's just going wild and just making a whole he does things like trivia nights and he does like they do these videos where it's like trivia night and it's like this and that and they do like silly videos of them driving around in parades in the police car and like he's just it's just silliness. I mean, you donate a small amount of money to be an ambassador, but becoming a citizen is free, and they issue passports. If you want to get a passport, it's like $100. I
Okay.
have mine right here. I can show it to you.
Yeah. I want to see. Love it.
And then
Yes. I'm feeling it.
and it goes on and on and on and on. This is actually when I went to Slowjamistan. This is what they stamp you with at the little desk that they have when you're there.
The moose. I love it. That's so cute.
And then it goes through and it has all the different pages with the silly quotes at the top that you see just like you would see in a normal passport. This one here is to the extreme. I rock a mic like a vandal, light up a stage, and wax a chump like a candle, Vanilla Ice.
Perfect.
Ain't no future in your frontin' by MC Breed. That's the quote on this page here.
Feeling it.
And it goes on and on. It looks just like a normal passport. And then at the end, it says, this document contains sensitive electronics. Do not ban. So it's the same shit that you're going to see in a U.S. passport. It's all the same shit, right? So,
Right.
and then Slojanistan has its own currency, which I have here. I have both paper and coins. The coins are over there on the desk. But here's the $20 double that you can see here.
Amazing.
I have currency and gold and silver coins and all sorts of shit all over my whole desk. I have gold backs. Have you heard about these?
No, what is this?
This is fucking cool. It's like a fraction of gold, physical, actual gold, imprinted into paper currency, but it feels almost like metallic.
It looks like the golden ticket, like the, Willy Wonka.
Yeah, it's like, and then they have a whole website devoted to being able to use these, and you can actually sign up to accept these, which I need to do, by the way. And
That's awesome.
it's a whole currency. It's a whole. And then I just got these today. I bought these old Confederate notes. I'm a part of a whole bunch of different groups on Instagram where they get old currencies and then they auction them off. And this is actually $100 bill from, God, I don't even know, from with hand signatures on it. This is probably from maybe the 1800s, maybe the early 1800s, something like that. And yeah, I have like gold coins and silver coins and all
Do you
sorts of
do
things
any
all over the
like
place.
foreign currency? I have a buddy who like got me into like the foreign currencies, like the dinar and zim and stuff like that. I don't know. They're supposed to be big in like the Nasera Jacera type stuff. I don't know. No.
No.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
I'm more interested in the history of money versus negotiable instruments more so than I am in like current day stuff.
Gotcha.
I'm more interested in like if I can get my hands on some like silver certificates from like 1871. Like I would love to buy those or have those.
Sure.
Or I have a whole. I just bought a whole. Stack of United States $1 fine silver coins. So there's coins and there's like rounds. Rounds are different than coins. Coins are the actual legal whatever,
Legal
lawful
money.
lawful money rather
Lawful.
than legal tender.
Oh, can you explain while I remember this? Can you explain how you can be an attorney, how you can be a lawyer, or is there a difference between those two things without having a bar card or a license? Like, what does that mean? Because I have someone in my family who's studying to be a lawyer, and I sent him your stuff, but there's like some ego there, and a lot of people won't look at that like, oh, whatever, like that's nothing. So, um, curious about that because you're an attorney.
Yeah, so there's an attorney at law and there's an attorney in fact. An attorney at law, essentially the way that works is if you look in corpus juris secundum and you look up, which is just a bunch of law shit, and you look up the definition of the word client, can look it up right here on my questions and answers page on williamsandwilliamslawfirm.com. I have like a breakdown of all these terms and how it all works and how that works and how. So if I do a screen share, I can just show that to you. I think it'd be better. That way, if anybody does want to pull up this information for someone else, they can do so, right? So if you go to williamsandwilliamslawfirm.com and you click on questions and answers, you scroll down to the first section after the definitions. Are you licensed? Absolutely not, nor will I ever be. If you hire a licensed lawyer or attorney, you are a client. A client, by definition from Corpus Juris Secundum, is defined as one who applies to a lawyer. Clients are also called wards of the court. Then you look up wards of court, And it says here, infants and persons of unsound mind. So the way it works is a licensed lawyer or an attorney at law represents you, which means they stand on your behalf because you are incapable of doing so because you are an infant or person of unsound mind. You are incapable of making decisions for yourself, which is why you also waive your rights and cannot claim your rights when you take on a licensed attorney or attorney at law as a client. A licensed attorney is called an attorney at law. A non-licensed lawyer, which is based in contract law and a section of the United States Code called 15 USC 1. So 15 USC 1, oops, says here that, every contract combination in the form of trust or otherwise, or conspiracy in restraint of trade or commerce among the several states or with foreign nations is declared to be illegal. Every person who shall make any contract or engage any combination or conspiracy hereby declared to be illegal shall be deemed guilty of a felony. And this is one of the largest fines I've ever seen in anything in the law ever. For a corporation, it's up to $100 million, which you won't see that. I mean, you won't see that high of like that anywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
So what happens is when you create a power of attorney, which is the contractual agreement between an attorney in fact and the principal, which is the person who's signing it, it would fall under this, and it would also fall under 18 USC 242, which talks about deprivation of rights under color of law. So the right to contract as we see fit cannot be messed with, and if it is, it's up to 1 year in prison. And then if there's more than one person working together to try to strip you of your right to contract as you see fit, it would actually transform 18 USC 242, which is up to 1 year in prison, into a conspiracy charge, which is located at 18 USC 241, and it 10x's the penalty to up to 10 years in prison.
Wow.
So if we go back to this, it says here, both of these terms are lawyers, both of these terms are attorneys, right? And you can even find, if you scroll down on this page, you'll see even the Bar Association talks about this. I have a link to one of their articles.
Right.
An attorney, in fact, is a non-licensed lawyer or attorney that acts as your agent. That's the term, rather than client. It's agent and principal are the terms that are used. Essentially, it is a better option than being a client because in the power of attorney is a contract between you and your agent. It lays out all the particular rules of the relationship, and it allows you to reserve or actually remove any rights that you want, and you can kind of hand pick rather than with an attorney at law, you waive everything. You don't have
Right.
any rights. You're like wiped clean. You're like a
You're
retard, basically.
right.
Literally, in the
Declared
law,
unfit.
you're literally retarded in the law, legally. The legal definition of retard, right?
Got it.
So you can type in attorney in fact on the internet, and you'll see lots of good information. If you are a child or you are legally retarded, meaning you cannot handle your own affairs on a day-by-day basis, you hire an attorney at law and become a client. If you are coherent and an adult, you hire an attorney in fact or an agent. As an attorney in fact, our job is to essentially assist you in presenting, not representing, yourself. By operating in this manner, you become exponentially more powerful as both a plaintiff or a defendant, right? Each and every corporate state, meaning state of California, state of Utah, which are corporations located in the District of Columbia, which we can get into, but it takes a minute to do that, has a power of attorney act that clarifies and defines the usage of contracts to create attorneys in fact. In California, a power of attorney can only be done between natural persons, meaning human beings, not corporations. But some corporate states and also at the federal level, corporations can have POAs with natural persons. So men and women, right?
Okay.
Even the American Bar Association, shockingly, has an excellent article on the subject of attorneys in fact. I refer to myself as a lawyer or attorney just to keep it simple, but the two designations explained above are very different and very important. Not all legal relationships are the same, and you should be very careful to only work with unlicensed professionals.
Right.
A power of attorney, especially a limited one, protects your rights and allows you to have a higher chance of success in the court system. You explicitly state in the power of attorney that you are reserving all of your rights, which we help you do. The clearer and more transparent the contract becomes, the less chance there is of degradation of your rights or standing can be assumed. Only that of which is uncommunicated can be assumed. And that
I
is
love it.
the breakdown of how that works.
Thank you for that. Because I know somebody's going to ask about that in the comments. So,
Yeah, a lot of people freak out and they get all emotional, and it's just like it's fun because a lot of the bar cards, I call them bar cards. A lot of the bar
mhm.
cards get all fucking upset about it too, and I love it because
Oh, there's got to be so much ego there, I'm sure.
oh
Yeah.
man, the more
Who's this
upset they get and the more
jackass?
they freak out,
Yeah.
the more I win.
And your demeanor is
So,
so calm, cool, collected
oh
too. So,
yeah,
like, I can imagine that situation would not
oh yeah, you
pan
should
out well for
see.
them.
I recorded the last meet and confer meeting we had where this white girl decided she wanted to pipe up and threaten me, and oh my god, I just obliterated this
Oh
woman.
man, I
She's
feel
like,
a bit.
we're going to be filing for unlicensed practice of law. It's a misdemeanor. I'm like, oh, really? I was like, can you send me that report? I have a 35,000 people on my email list, and I would love, we just want to have a good laugh about that. Can you
Yeah,
send it to me? And she's like, you're
yeah,
not taking this seriously, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, I'm going to ask you one more time.
yeah.
Will you send me the report? You don't have to if you don't want to. It's a yes or no question. Yes, I will. Great. We're going to move on to the next subject now. And she was fucking pissed. Oh, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's tough. That's a tough blow.
So I'm enjoying this very, very much. I would do this for free. I'm having so much fun.
What are you working on now? Like, where's your progress as far as all this goes? I know that you've got the Williams and Williams law thing happening. Are you still like heavily involved in teaching as much? Are you, what's your, I'll just let you explain.
Yeah.
Like, what's
Yeah,
your,
yeah. I had my day job was a dental office. I was the office manager of a dental office up until September, and I wanted to. I was very nervous about leaving because I was like, I don't know, and like, can I make a living on this already? And like, maybe I need a little bit more time, but it just felt like the right time to me. So,
mm-hmm.
and by the time I fully switched over, I made like some astronomical amount of money in like 10 seconds. It was like fucking insane. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I didn't know how I was going to deliver it all. So I went through this like crazy delivery thing. It was really difficult. And that's when Joey Kimbrough came in on the scene. I could do another screen share. Joey Kimbrough. So I
I
had
don't
a
know
lot
who
of
that is. Yeah.
things. Yeah, I had a lot of things going on where I was very nervous about delivery. I sold a lot of shit and now I needed to deliver it. And I was like, oh my God. So I met this dude, Joey Kimbrough. Here's Joey Kimbrough, right? Now
Okay.
he went through my course and he knows about some of this stuff, but he had already won a bunch of cases by himself.
Okay.
And he kind of came onto my radar and we spoke and he sent me a bunch of videos of his work and we talked for like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like 19-year-old girlfriends. And I really liked what he was doing. I really liked his stuff. And then we decided to start working together. And it's been he's great. I mean, he's on it, man. He's fucking on it.
I love it.
And so he's sort of the yin to my yang. If it wasn't for Joey, I'd be in some hot shit right now. I'd be involved in a lot of things trying to figure out how do I get these cases off the ground? How do I get these pro se clients off the ground and successful? And I had like half the pieces, but I didn't have the other half. And Joey's entrance we just went from there, like I don't know what I'm doing really, to like boom, we were like in litigation like that.
Clicked. Wow.
Like a month later, we started filing cases. We filed 4 cases, and I've got infinite cases lined up. And I could
And
probably file cases for the rest of my life, and I would never be short of a case. And if I was, then I would just go out and do something crazy, and I just make my own cases. Go to a hotel and freak out or something. There's a guy in New York that I used to work in Times Square. There's this guy. He's a midget. He used to dress up like Elvis, and I used to see him all the time in Times Square, all the time. I mean, every single day. And he never wanted to take photos with anybody because everyone's trying to take photos of people and this and that. And I was sitting at a Starbucks one time near Times Square, and he sat next to me. I said, "Hey man, how's it going?" He knows me. He's been seeing me for years, right? I said,
Yeah.
"What the fuck do you do?" And he said, "I go into establishments dressed as Elvis until they force me to leave, and then I file a discrimination suit." That's what he does full time, right? And he was just like very chill about it, just like drinking his coffee. Like, this is what I do, bro.
Dude,
It's like a desk job to him,
there are
literally.
jobs out there for people who can't get employment like that. That's an inspiration, honestly. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm just super proud of him.
Made fucking
Yeah.
bank. This guy. I mean, I would assume he made bank. I think he made a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, play the cards you're dealt. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I could be doing that shit. You know what I mean? Get my mankini and just start walking into fucking public
There's a market
establishments.
for that. Yeah. Honestly, I feel it.
Discrimination suit, and I can file my own shit. I don't even need a lawyer. So,
Right,
it gets more exciting, but I wouldn't really do that. I'm kidding. That's not really my thing.
Course.
I'm obviously, more of a pickle and shining armor kind of a thing. So I try to actually do things that matter.
You're noble pickle.
Yeah, I guess I'm a noble pickle. Yeah. So with a really long jousting stick, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, super intense.
I wanted to see your reaction to that. Oh my God.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how red is my face right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's your head now? Is it cleared again?
It was just going back to normal. We were getting it back down to like a manageable level, and then it just like
that's what I do.
Went blushing again. So yeah. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Perfect. Appreciate it. God damn it. I know I had a I had something I was going to say, and now I guess it wasn't important. So
should I give you a moment to collect yourself, or should we talk about pillow fights?
You could talk about pillow fights. We might need a nipple palate cleanser just to kind of wipe you, not me, you. No.
Me?
Yes, you. Yeah. Yeah.
Nipples.
Good. Okay. Palate cleansed. All right.
There we go.
Yeah, I just don't know where we're going now. I had a lot of questions.
Whatever is in your,
Then I'm glad we covered. We got nipples. We got midgets. We got cucumbers, mankinis. We got
yes. Oh God, yes. All the important stuff.
Pillow fights, butt cheeks.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm so glad you brought all those up because like none of them were in my notes. So I mean, this podcast would have been dry as fuck.
Yeah, you gotta start. We've had like a little bit of like
you brought
the technical shit, and
then
but like mostly we've been talking about like what's actually important, which is all.
Yeah, I'm glad we covered that.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well.
What else do you have on your little notepad there? What else?
I had some like just personal questions, but I mean, you cover all of it in your course, but just about like, the licensing for like cars. I have MSO on here asking about the manufacturer's, certificate of origin on your car. Just, the intention for all of this. That was a big thing too, that I wanted to talk about, just like the intention for people who are doing this kind of stuff and like the mindset. Cause I feel like a lot of people go into this just like, just guns blazing. People get up pissed off, riled up, and like, almost like expecting to engage in battle. And I love how you have the Amnesty Coalition and you really talk about, you like dispel that energy immediately. And that's huge. I love that nobody else is doing that in this like realm. Nobody else is saying like, listen, just chill, which is why I thought it was important that we wore the onesies, even though I had to derobe because I was fucking sweltering over here. But just to like infuse humor and love into this whole process, and just know that like your intention is everything. And people who come into this with like ready to go into battle, I just feel like it's never going to happen for them, or maybe it will. I guess we all get there on our own timing. But
if you want battle specifically, litigation's a great place for you. I do a lot of battling. I enjoy it very thoroughly. If you're able to compartmentalize the battle, meaning like I'll get on the phone and scream and fucking go berserk, and then like 5 minutes later, like I'm just like playing a video game, just like chilling or going for a motorcycle ride, and it's like totally out of my world.
So it doesn't like emotionally drain you, though. enjoying it.
No, it's like I get to step into my masculine and just like rip these fucking people apart, and I
I
love
was
it.
just gonna say that's a male thing though. Like men
Yeah.
love doing battle.
So litigation is where it's like this. Litigation is the octagon, and it's like outside the octagon, you don't hear about UFC fighters like at a bar and just like smashing a fucking bar stool over a guy's back and like breaking four of his vertebrae, and if you do, he's gonna be in a court or something. Whereas when you're in the fucking octagon, you can beat a guy to death, and there's literally like no repercussions at all. You could literally kill a guy in the octagon, and that's just part of what this is, and it's all contracted out, and it's a public event, and it's legal. It's sort of like kind of a silly example, but I've seen videos before where guys are like, prostitution is illegal, but shooting a porn is legal.
Right.
So you can actually shoot a porn with a prostitute and it would actually be legal.
Wow.
But if you're not shooting a porn, it's actually technically illegal.
Makes perfect sense, of course.
Which
Make
I
it
haven't
make
done
sense.
that. I haven't done that, just in full disclosure. But I'm just saying, like, it's an interesting thing to look at because you have a situation where in litigation you can do whatever you want. You can go fucking nuts. Pretty much all the bar cards do is just threaten you. I mean, that's all they do. Oh,
Right.
we're gonna file. They like the word sanctions. It's like a sexual term for them. If you continue with this, we're gonna file sanctions. If you continue to press these frivolous points, you're gonna get sanctions. We're gonna file for sanctions. We're filing for unlicensed practice of law for you, which is misdemeanor, and then they won't talk to me. We're not talking to Mr. Williams because he is not a licensed attorney, blah, blah, blah. Now, at first, I was pissed. And I'm talking like I haven't been that mad in many years. I was so mad that they wouldn't talk to me. Then, as we kind of went forward and I started experiencing more and more of this, it became the greatest thing that's ever happened. Because the thing is that if they refuse to talk to you, you win.
Right.
It's very simple.
So it works out to your benefit.
It's like two people getting put in the octagon, and one person's like, "I'm not going to fight you," but like they're in the octagon, and you can just start beating the ever-loving fuck out of them and like break all their limbs. And I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to you, while you're like ripping their fucking elbows off their body. So it's like
savage.
It's beautiful. It's like enough to bring like tears to your eyes.
Yeah.
So I think if you like that masculine energy and you want that, then litigation's a great place for you. Because what's happening is that you're going to be put up against these bar card attorneys. And I'm telling you, to this day, it's been a while. I've met a lot of different attorneys, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 attorneys. Not one of them knew a fucking thing about the law. I have not experienced a single bar card so far that knows anything about the law. I mean, you could take people in my Facebook group and they know, like, no joke, they know like 1,500 times what your typical bar card knows. And we're talking like in this case number one, this case that I have with Compass Realty and this guy named Dan Hollerman, who's a franchisee of Compass Realty. This one attorney, the one that I ate up and destroyed, she's over 10 years experience as a bar card. These are not like spring chickens. Right. And I'm telling you, she didn't know a fucking thing.
Well, I think that's what's so important for people who are just coming into this information to realize is that, like you've said many times in all your videos, like the attorneys, like these people you're going to be dealing with, the people at the banks, the people at the IRS, these people don't know this stuff. Accountants, like nobody knows any of this stuff, really. Nobody knows the law.
Nobody and the only one that will put you on hold and work really, really, really hard to try to figure it out for you if you ask these kinds of questions over the phone is the Internal Revenue Service.
The IRS, right? Which is the one people are.
Sir, may I put you on hold for 5 or 7 minutes so I can research this topic in more detail? Sure.
Yeah.
Bro, they are like on it. They're like, and you hear the music and they come back on in 7 minutes. I'm really sorry, sir. I just want to let you know I have a supervisor involved. We're doing the research right now. Can you please give me another 5 or 7 minutes? Really, really appreciate you holding. No, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, yeah.
The only organization that will treat you that way. That's the only one.
And so you're finding that you're going into these situations like, are you still nervous? Are you to the point where you're like, no, I'm kind of like in the battlefield and I've assessed the situation and I'm realizing like how much information I actually hold?
I think the secret is to get as many lawsuits rolling as you can. They need to be good. They need to be solid. So it's like it's not about just like slapping shit together and throwing it out there. But if you have like 9 or 12 different lawsuits all going at the same time, you're not as attached to the outcome of any one particular suit.
Right. And what
It's
about,
it just comes down to scarcity versus abundance. It's no different than dating. When you're dating like one person and you're going on dates, it's like all like fucking crazy. But if you have like if you're actively hanging out with like female friends and you're like going on dates and it's like fun and it's like cute and it's like more abundant, like you'll never,
you're not
one girl
attached
doesn't
to
call
it?
you back and then you're just like okay, you know. So
It's
it's
fine.
it's very like scarcity versus abundance mindset. It's like how many different judges, how many different bar cards, how many different plaintiffs, how many different defendants, like how many different cases can I get rolling, because I want to get enough cases rolling to where I'm not overwhelmed, but where I have like an insane abundance of cases to where I could lose one or just kind of one could just go fuck itself. And I just could not care less at all, really.
And so is this pertaining to like discharging debt? Like what if somebody has like student loans? Like for example, can you, I don't have any student loans, but can you it, apply the same kind of thing to the debt?
Yeah, you can discharge student loans without litigation. But if you litigate, you can get a huge payout on top of discharging the student loans.
Got it. And is this the
I
same
like
thing
that. I would
better?
rather fight, get the discharge. Another thing is that if you don't litigate, there's a chance they may report it on your credit, which is the biggest joke in the world. You can literally just write letters to the three bureaus and they'll remove almost anything that you want them to remove. And if they don't, you can file a lawsuit. They won't even fight it. They'll just settle immediately. You'll get paid and you'll get the shit removed off your record. The easiest thing in the world. But if you didn't want to do all that, uh, I like litigation because litigation, you control the narrative. So let's say like in litigation, there's no way in hell they're going to report anything in litigation. Plus you're going to walk away with a settlement. So you get the discharge, you don't have to worry about reports on your record you have to deal with, and you get paid with
Okay.
litigation. If you don't litigate with student loans specifically, if you don't litigate, there's a pretty high percentage you can get them to just kind of like wipe the debt essentially. But it's like it might be very difficult. It might be very stressful. It might require you to send the same thing over and over again. They might like kind of play dumb, or they are really dumb. And it's just kind of like more nebulous. And then like 2 or 3 years go by and then like somehow you get put back onto some system and then they send you a letter even though that it's already discharged, but
Right.
now you're back into some weird collection system and blah blah blah. There's a lot of weird things that can kind of happen, whereas with litigation everything becomes like very direct and very clean
Gotcha.
and very finalized. It's like boom 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 and you never have to worry about it ever again.
It's, yeah, it's over after that
Yeah.
point when you clean it up. Okay.
So I like litigation. It allows me to step into my masculine really to my like absolute maximum level. It's like legalized Genghis Khan genocide. It's absolutely glorious. It's like straight out of the movie 300. It's like full blown fucking, what were those? Sparta. It's like literally
Hmm.
Sparta. It's incredible. Um, but
We need men to step into that masculine energy. Like women are
yeah,
really waiting for that. It's like collectively, we love that.
I know,
We love that
I
shit.
know, I know,
Do more,
I know.
guys. We love it.
Yeah, I know. It's I do a lot with
Leave the lady folks. Yeah, want give
that
them what
kind
they
of
want.
thing. Yeah.
Yep. um. So that's fantastic. Would you at one point would you advise people to start like attempting that, like when they have what process, and are you talking about the specifically like the discharging debt student loans? Is that, I'm watching your advanced course now, so tell me if you already went over all this stuff in your videos, but do you cover that fully, or is that something that people have to dive in on their own?
Yeah. You could go on my. It's partially in the advanced course, and then it's also there's a bunch of videos on my website, and I go on to or on my YouTube. I go on a lot of shows like this,
Hmm.
and this show is like way more social and way more kind of relaxed than I normally do. Normally, it's like very, very. Well, I'm
I
with
loved,
men. I'm with men a
yeah,
lot, so it's my behavior with men is very different. We're very like, let's get into it, let's talk about it, nuts and bolts. You know what I mean? Like, let's work on the car, kind of a thing. You know, it's very like beer and car, beer and car, beer and car. Like, there's things to do, there's things to fix. Whereas going on with a woman host, it's different because it's like I really enjoy the feminine, even in myself. You know what I
hmm,
mean? So it's kind of one of those things where it's like when I get the opportunity to go on a show with a woman, I like the fact that it's so much different because I don't necessarily want to go on all these shows all the time and just constantly be,
right,
which is cool. I like it. Like I feel
yeah,
like I'm most of the time like my baseline is like 75% masculine, like 25% feminine because I really love the feminine. I really enjoy it and I really understand it. So it's something that I also enjoy. But it just naturally doesn't. It's not like my priority. It's not my higher amount of that of which I'm involved in. And then when I get into litigation, it goes to 100% masculine, 0% feminine.
right.
And then if I'm on a motorcycle or if I'm doing art or something like that, maybe it'll like be more like a 55% masculine, 45% feminine. So it just depends. But it's sort of like a range or like a slider that kind of goes back and forth. And I
Yeah, I
love
think it's
that.
important
Yeah.
for men and women to be able to like dive into the, masculine for women. I mean, when you meet a woman who doesn't have any sort of like grasp on her masculine energy, she's weak and wispy and can't speak up for herself and can't, formulate like can't stand up for a cause, can't defend herself, can't speak confidently in a room. And then when you have like a man who's not balanced in his masculinity, obviously, like that's just no one likes a weak, effeminate man. So it's good to have ideally like both that you can call on at any point. And
Yeah.
obviously, like I see, I see a lot going on in the world with like feminism, as a perfect example where like these women are really hyper masculine and they're like just butting heads and getting back that masculine energy. And I'm like, well, of course, if you approach a man as a man, that like you're gonna butt heads. Like I don't want to be treated like a dude, you know. So it's nice to have a man who can like go be masculine somewhere else and then balance in and hone in and tap into like the more empathy and the intuitive side, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is that in a world where men are kind of assailed pretty heavily, with a lot of things, and we do become sexually starved because for a guy it's much more difficult to have a sexual experience than it is for a typical woman, average woman, to
Mm,
have a sexual experience. So like we become very weak in that area because of our extreme destitute mental energy associated with wanting sex or needing sex. So it's a very and then you have porn, which makes it worse, and it's just like
mm,
it's kind of a madness in a lot of ways, right? And a guy goes through his life and he gets like a handful of compliments from non-family people, like basically his whole life.
right.
So we're just as a gender, we are just very unappreciated. I think not to blame the world for our issues. I'm just saying like on an economic level, I dealt with it my whole life and I spent literally 18, 19, 20 years of my life trying to figure it out. I started when I was 19 and I didn't really figure it all out. I felt until I was in like my mid 30s, probably around like 33, 34, 35 is when I started to kind of really figure it out. And I was working on it like men's groups,
Mm-hmm.
fraternities, books. No More Mr. Nice Guy, Robert Glover, Mark Manson, books by, I mean, Zamparian's my absolute favorite, is the greatest fucking thing ever, which you have right there. Oh my God. Have you read that one?
I am this much into it.
Is that
So
not the most fucking mind blowing thing you have ever placed your eyes on in your fucking life or what?
I'm waking up like an hour earlier every day just to read it. So thank
Yeah.
you. Also, I wanted to Thank you for that, for bringing that into my life as
Yeah,
well.
like
Because
you have no idea. Like just wait. Like, but it's the only book that like you literally finish it and you're just like you're crying so hard that like you literally just want to start the book over again. Like it's like fucked.
yeah, it's I'm enjoying it immensely so far, and like it's so wonderful and lovely to hear that people know how women want. Like every woman who will read that and listen to him speak is like, oh, thank you. Like
Yeah.
that's it. But like
Yeah. Yeah.
so men, please read this book. Like
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
the Alabaster Girl,
Oh God,
guys. If
yes.
you're watching this, please read this.
So yes.
Yeah,
So yes.
he
Women
gets
love
it
it
for sure.
too.
Oh no,
Women love the
it's
book too. Yeah, it's just it's a book for men, but fuck, it's so like women
it's
just
beautiful.
die. Yeah, it's so
Well, when women hear that, we're like, "Oh my god, I thought nobody got that. I didn't know
yeah.
anyone understood that."
It's like
So,
law. It's like law. Like you live through your life and like nobody seems to get any of it, and then
right.
it's the same shit. I mean, really.
So,
So
I was always like when I was younger, I've always kind of been on my own in life. So, I tended to be more like when I was younger, I was like listening to metal, like smoking cigarettes, just not wanting anyone to talk to me. It was pretty intense, and like so I've spent the last like 20 years coming into my femininity because I was always more like in survival mode, you know? So it's really nice like to be able to step into what you were meant to do, meant to be, who you were
yeah.
meant to be, I guess, and like find that integration. And it's so much easier when you just align with that. And like one day it does click, you get it, you know. But I think I think we need to see things. Like I always need to see like what's possible. So I went looking for like role models, you know, people that I could like, okay, well, I need examples because I don't really know what this looks like yet. So you go out and you find other people and you're like, okay, well, that is like a piece of what I'm trying to achieve, like what I want, you know, my world to look like. So it sounds like you did the same thing. So
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, for me, it was. Um, I didn't have a dad growing up, so it was a lot of male figures. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was kind of the same thing. It was specific people who I really vibed with and really enjoyed their teaching and learning from them. And um, yeah, I mean, Zan's one of the biggest ones, to be honest with you. So, but yeah,
and he
it's
has
all
a
part
men's
of
group
the
too. The
yeah. So he
for
has a he has
gentlemen.
a he has a large group called the Ars Amarata, and within that, there's a kind of elite inner core called the Amarati. And then
Yes.
in the Amarati, there's basically two main courses. There's the Essentials course and there's the Mastery course. Both are 90-day programs. The Mastery course is by invite only. The one that I did was the first one they ever did. And it was
Wow.
with Zan personally. So Zan actually Zoom called me and they pick
Wow.
you. You don't pick them, kind of a thing. And
That's so
so I
cool.
did the Mastery course with Zan. I think I did the Mastery course in 2021.
Kind of a perfect
Yeah.
time too with COVID going on. So
Yeah,
you're
I think it
probably
was 2021 when I did the mastery course. And it's funny, I'd say and then the audiobook version of the Alabaster Girl just came out like 7 months ago or 6 months ago or something like that. And the book came out in 2013. So it's literally 10 years later.
okay.
And I listened to it over and over and over again for like 2 months straight. And then every like 4 or 5 or 6 months, I usually will listen to it over and over. And right now I'm actually doing that.
I
So I'm
love that.
actually I'm
I have
actually
books like that too, where
and
you
I
just keep
literally
coming
like in
back to
my
them. Yeah.
whole life the only other book I've ever read more than one time or listened to the audiobook more than one time ever is Your First 100 Million by Dan S. Pena.
Who I also started watching his videos just to see who he was because you talk about him so often. And yeah, he's very geared toward the masculine. But
He's
I
like
also
he's like
think
litigation to the max. He's
I,
like
I love it.
he literally
Yeah.
litigates like he like sues everybody, everything, like
I love his
everybody.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
My whole dream, my whole life, I've only ever had one consistent dream, and it was to have a castle on an island. Like that's
yeah.
still my goal that I'm pursuing right now, which is why I was so interested. Which is why I moved to Florida to be closer to in proximity to what I'm trying to do down here, but also like your land patent information and
Yeah.
allodial titles and all that. That's very like I'm researching that deeper. So Very cool. But Castle on an Island, and then you talked about that, and I looked up Dan Pena, and I was like, this fucking guy is a castle on an island, like, and he
I don't think it's on an
manifested it.
island, but it's a castle. Yeah.
He calls it a castle on an island. That's what I'm
Oh, he
calling
does.
it.
Okay, maybe it
He
is. I
literally
don't
says
know,
that.
but yeah, yeah, yeah.
I saw it. Scotland.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Scotland. Yeah, yeah.
So
I was
I'm
gonna go out there. It's like 25 or 35,000 to go to his week long castle seminar. The problem is it's like 2 or 3 year wait,
right.
and with all the shit going down right now, I just don't really think I can commit to something for in 2 to 3 years from now. Because what I'm doing is getting so fucking wild, and if I had a choice between, as much as I love Dan Pena,
Right.
if I had a choice between Dan Pena or something more along the lines of what I'm doing, I'd probably pick something more along the lines of what I'm doing at this point in time. I mean, all I did was listen to Pena all day long for like 2.5 years, literally every day. Like, wake up to Pena,
Yeah.
drive in my car to Pena, eat lunch listening to Pena, and then go to sleep listening to Pena for like literally like 2.5 years.
Men should listen to him. He's
Yeah,
a great motivating force. I've been planning a trip to Scotland anyway, so I want to
there
go
you
see
go.
his castle. I'm taking my mom's dream was to go to Edinburgh her whole life, and so I'm taking her ashes someday this year to go to Scotland. So I'm going to go check out his castle.
There you go. Say hi to Dan.
I'll send you a selfie. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
me and Dan kicking it.
Show up with your onesie, be like, oh, I'm
Some
here to see Dan.
onesie, bagpipes. Who knows?
There you
I
go.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just keep it fresh. See how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Do you have anything else that
No, what other notes do you have? What other questions or notes did you have?
Uh,
The MCO thing is like, when you get a car and you have a certificate of title and you send it into the Department of Motor Vehicles, what you're doing is you're donating your car to the state in order to use the car in a commercial capacity within the confines of the state. The state owns the car. Once you send in and register the car, the state owns the car. You are what's called the registered owner, which if you
Okay.
look up the legal definition of that, it's a nightmare. It's not what you think it is. So the MCO or MSO, which is the first thing that you get when you buy a brand new car, if you don't register the car, they're going to give you this dope ass thing called it looks like a title. It's the actual title.
Okay.
The definition of the word certificate in law means copy. So certificate of title, certificate of trust. For example, you have the original trust indenture. And then if you don't want the banks or other people knowing what's in the trust indenture because it's a private trust, you create another document called a certificate of trust. The certificate of trust says this isn't the actual trust, but this is basically evidence stating that the trust is located elsewhere. And you can actually go into a bank and you can open up a bank account using a certificate of trust. Certificate of title, which is what you see at the top of your pink slip, says certificate of title, which means not a title, but evidence that there's a title someplace else.
Kind of like our birth certificate.
Yeah.
Not the actual document.
Yeah. So the thing is it's the certificate of title is a copy of another title of which you don't have because you donated your car to the state. Then you have registration. Registration is the Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program from 34 USC 12611, which basically it's a program. It's a voluntary program. It says right in the Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program that this program is completely voluntary. It even says that if you want to exit the program, you just remove the plates or remove the sticker or whatever. And basically the way that they write it is they say, it'd be nice if you told us.
Right.
But you don't even really have to. That's literally how you exit the Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program. You simply remove the tag. But basically, the way that the Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program works is it's a commercial service. And you basically are supposed to be stating that the vehicle is not normally operated under certain specified conditions. And basically what you're doing is you're paying the Department of Motor Vehicles and the state police to provide to you a protection service where you waive, it says here, you agree to permit law enforcement officials in any state to stop the motor vehicle and take reasonable steps to determine whether the vehicle is being operated by or with the permission of the owner if the vehicle is being operated under the specified conditions, right? So you can actually write up a schedule where, let's say you have 5 employees and they're all driving the car at different times. You can actually write all this information up and send it in. And it's actually part of this motor vehicle theft prevention program.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're basically stating that the let's see here. Under those conditions. So it's supposed to include an express statement that the vehicle is not normally operated under the specified conditions, and that the operation of the vehicle under those conditions would provide sufficient grounds for a prudent law enforcement officer to reasonably believe that the vehicle was not being operated by or with the consent of the owner. So what you're doing is you're paying for a commercial service where you waive the rights of anything. So you have this thing called reasonable articulable suspicion, RAS. And that's the legal term for what the police have to have in order to detain you or pull you over or stop you, right? So the way that RAS works in this situation is that they don't need RAS if you have registration tags, because you basically state in the contract for registration that it says here explicitly state that the motor vehicle to which it is affixed, meaning the sticker, may be stopped under the specified conditions without additional grounds for establishing a reasonable suspicion that the vehicle is being operated unlawfully. So you're waiving your right that the police have to have RAS to detain you. And what you're doing is you're saying, like, I would like this service of the motor vehicle theft prevention program, of which is a program where I feel more protected because they can pull me over at any point in time. And if my car is ever stolen or operated by a person who I don't have approved to operate it, the police will grab the vehicle, seize it, and return my property to me.
Got it.
But part of that whole thing is that it has to have a certificate of title. So it's already owned by the state. When you get your certificate of title. And then on top of that, now you're part of this motor vehicle theft prevention program, and you waive your right to RAS. Okay. So they don't need RAS anymore to pull you over. And that's why, for whatever reason, whatever they want, they turn the lights on, they pull you over, and they can detain you. And actually, as long as you have current registration tags, that behavior is technically legal in a contractual situation. Let's say they pull you over and you have expired tags. Now, if you have expired tags, you think to yourself, oh, I'm in trouble. It's actually the opposite. You actually have more protection, because now if the tags are expired, you are no longer in a contractual obligation where you paid to receive the services found under 34 USC 12611 Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program. So now that original contract where you were operating under those particular contractual points is now not operating in that moment because that contract has expired. Now the police officer needs RAS to detain you.
I'm glad you brought this up because my tags are expiring this month. We renew them on our birthday month. And so I was debating, like, well, I don't have my passport yet, my, state national passport. Does that matter? Like, or should I renew my tags until then?
It's up to you. I would try to get that passport as quickly as possible. I know a lot of people go down to the actual passport office and they walk out same day with a fucking passport. You can do that.
Because I have to wait till June to get my birth certificate in the mail. So
you can use a DS-10 form.
Okay.
Which is a birth affidavit form.
I'll write that down.
You can actually use that instead. I believe you'll have like your mom or your brother or somebody will fill it out attesting to your birth.
Okay.
You can just use that. You don't have to wait.
Have you heard of people, like, what passport they get? Is it still like the 5-star passport that you're going
all
for?
sorts of things are happening. We got a lot of people getting 3-star passports, which they seem to work just fine. So I'm starting to think that it could be 3, 4, or 5.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. People are getting special red diplomatic passports now. I got a buddy of mine who's starting to dig into that more. Apparently, there's a non-commercial diplomatic passport that's not even listed on the website that you can get. I mean, there's all sorts of things. But I think just normal fee non-commercial passport, the normal one that we've been getting, has been working really, really well. So
Okay.
the thing is that I had a report just a week. I get reports all the time. I had a report just a week ago where a police officer took the passport. He goes to his car. He comes back. He goes, "Well, I've never seen that before." And he just tosses the passport in the car and he just walks away. And that was it. That was the whole thing. So
Oh.
there's a lot of different stories. It just comes down to, being kind, being considerate, explaining things as best you can in a way that is non-combative and not, these are men, these are men that are, feel like they have to control things. And if they lose their control, there could be madness in the streets and people getting robbed and shot and looted. And so when you say things like you don't have jurisdiction over me, they don't have a tendency to take that super well. So there's certain things you just don't say. You don't say those things.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just basic human decency. I think, like, how,
Yeah.
you know, uh, are you going to be willing to help somebody who's like, throwing like, objects at you and throwing insults at you, and or if somebody comes up and they're like, "Hi, like I just need help. Like, would you mind? Is this okay?" Like,
Yeah.
and you're pleasant and show them respect and allow them to retain their dignity. I think that that's just like a basic human level thing. So,
And
um,
women are typically better at that than men are. So like on the street, women are usually more effective, but then in litigation, I think men are usually more effective.
I could see that for sure.
So it's sort of like the two different spectrums of this whole thing, right? Paperwork on the phone, on the street. I think the feminine energy is a lot more effective. And then litigation is just straight full blown genocide. Like you want blood squirting from like every hole of everybody, like as fast as possible,
Yeah.
as violently as and you want to do it like as publicly as possible so everyone can see how brutal you are.
Right. Yeah. Put the head on the spike outside the front
Yeah,
door. Yeah,
literally like
exactly.
that kind of a thing. Yeah. So
I
it
could
kind of
see that.
goes both ways for sure. It just depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it and kind of all the good stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, but again, if you're in litigation, like that's your choice. Like, ideally, like that's something that you're prepped for. If you're doing this information, you've prepped for this, like you're prepared to be there. But like so that's in a sense, like you're kind of on your turf. Like, and when you're being pulled over by a police officer or the sheriff or whatever, it's better to just, you know, kill them with kindness, I guess.
yeah, it's very easy, just give them the passport, blah blah blah. I mean,
And most cops, like they're down here, especially like they don't want to deal with your bullshit. Like in a bigger city, and like where I'm from, in the Midwest, like yeah, you're gonna have a harder time, I think, with this. But like in a bigger city, like they don't want to deal with your bullshit anyway. So like,
yeah, anything that's complicated, I am realizing that more and more as I hear all the stories. Anything that's like super super complicated, they don't really want to get into it. Um,
mm-mm.
so it works in your favor. You know what I mean?
Like I see cops down here all the time. Like in Florida, it's the craziest driving in the whole world. Like I've got like hit and run. I got in a hit and run last month. Like I had spine surgery. I had to have a disc replaced. Like when
Oh
I
my
first moved here.
god,
So oh yeah, people will kill you every day. There's just Nissan Altimas that just go like this every day, all day
the
through
Nissan
traffic. So
Altimas. There's a lot of memes about that shit online. It's just so funny.
it's real. It's a real thing. So Nissan
You see that
Altimas,
here too. You see
they
that
have
here too. The,
the
the
purple
Altimas.
like tint like on the windows all bubbled up in the
Yeah,
back,
and they're
like
going
the
like
purple
400
tint.
miles an hour. Yeah, yeah, the whole thing. Yep.
They got nothing to lose. They're just like,
They
fuck it,
drive.
I'm
They
going for
drive
it.
like they. They
Yeah.
drive like. Yeah, they drive like motorcyclists. Actually,
It's
kind of
crazy. Yeah,
funny.
we have
Yeah.
them too. We have a lot of scooters. Yeah, a lot of scooters, and there's but yeah, I see like people doing crazy stuff all the time. The cops are like, fucking whatever. It's, I mean, I
Yeah.
see them, and I was like, that no, like you got nothing to say about that, and they're like,
It's like bikers
I
in
don't give a shit.
California. You're going like 140, and they're just like they don't even,
Yeah,
not even going to bother. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, and also too with this stuff too, I like how you said like in your course, like spiritually, you're just not on their radar. Like when you, I think like elevate, vibrate at a different level, you just become invisible to
oh
them.
yeah,
But
I've got diplomatic plates on a 2009 Shelby GT500 that's straight piped. I had private motor carrier DOT plates on it before. I can't even remember the last time I got pulled over. I think the last time I got pulled over was before I even started doing this shit. Last time I got pulled over was probably, and I'm telling you, I got an 800 horsepower, straight piped, screamingly loud Shelby GT500. Now, on the flip side, what people don't get is that men, especially American men, especially like police officers, military, they love my car. I had the other day, I had some cops pull up next to me and they said, "Excuse me, sir, blah, blah, blah." And I had my diplomatic plates on late at night coming down the mountain. And they said, "Excuse me, sir, your back lights, it looks like one of them might be out, but I'm not sure. It could be from the factory." So I pulled the e-brake because it's stick shift, get out, go to the back. "Oh, no, that's just the way it is from the factory." I go, "Okay, no problem, sir. You have a beautiful car, sir. Thank you
Mm.
so much. Have a great night." And that was it. But I have my diplomat
Yeah.
plates on too, so I don't know if it was like, but everybody loves this car. Like
Yeah.
everybody loves this car because it's like you get a Lambo and it's like, yeah, he's trying too hard. It's fucking dumb,
Hmm.
especially if it's an automatic and it's loud. You get like a BMW, it's like, whatever. But like GT500 stick, they're all stick shift. The older ones, they didn't even make them in automatic. You couldn't even buy them. And it's straight piped, it's lowered, it's gorgeous, and it's hilarious because the car's only worth like $35,000, but you get treated like better than you would in like a
Royalty.
Lambo and something like this. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel like, especially when you're sporting diplomatic plates too, it's like I don't have shit all over my car. My car is fucking clean as fuck.
Pristine.
It's
Right.
so fucking clean. I mean, I haven't washed her in a long time, so it's like it's got like dirt on it, and like it's a little bit like you could tell, she needs a clean, but no, nothing like floor mats are clean, no shit in the
Mm-hmm.
back, no shit on the ground, no shit all over the place, no food stains, no this, no that, no none of that. It's like very, very clean. The outside's pretty clean. So
You got to take care of your car. Like
yeah,
I
it's like
just,
if you're gonna roll around a diplomat plate, a lot of guys roll around diplomat plates and they have like stickers on the back and the windows are all fucked up and it's like a fucking 1999, God knows what.
Pinto, lime green Pinto,
Yeah, and it's like you
stinger in the
have
bumper.
to you have to it's a whole mindset. It's a whole like it's a whole like way of approaching everyone, and it's a whole image, and it's a
Presentation.
whole
Yeah.
presentation, and it's a whole it's like a whole thing. It's a whole. Everyone starts off at the bottom, which is where
Mm.
you're like, I need approval and I need papers and I need plates and I need all these things. But then as you move through that and you start to learn more and more and more, you realize that it's actually way more than that. And it
Yeah.
comes down to like spirituality
An
and
energetic thing.
vibration and mindset. But I feel like you can only get to that level through this level.
Yeah.
Because I had to go through the lower level to get to the higher level. And I feel like it's just that is the progression. You can't just jump.
You
Most
can't
people can't.
bypass
Some people can
spiritually
do it,
bypass.
but it's a small percentage of people who can just jump straight into that.
That it's like a quantum leap. Yeah. But yeah,
So
no, it's part of the presentation, how you carry yourself, like how you, like, I'm a person who like last weekend I was scrubbing my rims with a toothbrush. Like that's just
yeah,
my car is pristine every week. It's detailed. But that's how that's how I carry myself, my body as well. Like have pride and care about yourself and care about other people, and that's how you extend that courtesy, and people can feel that like it's
yeah,
resonant. I love in your one of your videos where like you've got fucking coffee stains all over your foreign diplomat stuff and like old French fries and stuff in your cup holder, and your car's a piece of shit. I had a girlfriend who like works in corporate offices, and she knew a CEO who every time he interviewed somebody, he would walk them out to their car, like as in, saying goodbye to them, but he would look at their car, and if their car was a mess, he wouldn't hire them. Because if that's how you treat your car, that's how you're going to treat your life and maybe the company.
yeah.
Or like people who are, if you're a landlord, like you walk people out to their car and then see how they treat stuff, and that's how they're going to treat your home or
It's a good point.
anything
Yeah,
that they have. They're not going to value it. Like if you don't value your own stuff, why are you going to value? I'm not going to trust you to take care of my stuff. So
it's a very good point. Yeah, it's a very, very good point. I think that's yeah.
great. Glad we covered that. I have one more question to ask you. This is actually for a friend. So he has a really big company. And I was telling him about this stuff, and he asked about his borrowing power. If he does this, if he does all the contract stuff, like he depends on being able to have like credit. What happens to something like that? We're like a big company.
Every time you are denied credit, you litigate and you get the credit you asked for, plus you get a settlement. So you actually make money every time you get a loan.
Okay, so it's to your benefit to do
And
this.
then when you get the loan, then you can discharge the loan. If they don't discharge the loan, then you can sue that company again if it's a different company. Then you see the same company again a second time, and then you get the loan discharge and you get paid.
Okay. So yeah, so he has a pretty big like multi-million dollar company, but then other friends of ours from like the Midwest also have even bigger companies. So like I'm trying to tell them this stuff, but I'm just a musician. What do I know? So I'm like, you guys, this is amazing. And they had all these questions for me about like, well, I don't want to do that because I'm not going to be able to have this borrowing power anymore. And
And once
yeah,
you start
so
suing the pants off of people, they stop messing around with you. And then after that point, I mean, I'm not there yet, but I'm like almost there. I have a
right.
feeling what's going to happen is that you hit a certain point where you just ask for whatever you want and they just give it to you as much as you want whenever you want, because they just know they're just going to get their ass beat.
So it's like with the knowledge. I mean, you kind of become this like assassin with all the knowledge that you're
all,
attaining, and
all,
like
all money and all financial everything just becomes completely, utterly insignificant. Like everything about money, everything about spending or receiving money is like, it's the biggest fucking joke. It's like, it's as detached as playing Monopoly. Like you just don't fucking care at all anymore.
the emotional attachment. Because explain,
Well, if I wanted
explain why that is for
$400
you.
million tomorrow, or if I wanted a free mansion in the hills, it's one court case away.
Mm,
Easiest fucking thing in the world. It's sort of like in Zamparian's book, The Alabaster Girl. He talks about how like when you go to a party and just because of your name alone, you can take home any girl there by just snapping your fingers. He says it's amazing that when you hit that level, and for women too, it's the same experience. You just don't care anymore.
right.
You have absolutely no interest, and with the financial stuff, that's where I'm at. Just
Okay.
have no fucking interest. Like at this point, the glory of battle of litigation is actually more interesting to me than the actual payout.
It's
Literally, I'm
just
not kidding.
yeah. No, I believe it. I could.
Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
have by the end of this year, I'll probably have $400, $500, $700 million in the bank. And what am I gonna be doing? I'll be in court cases, just chopping heads off. That's all I'm gonna be doing.
And are you going to continue to post and let us follow the journey on all the stuff?
Oh
Are you
God,
going to?
that's
Yeah.
the funnest part.
Okay. Good.
Well, where's the fun
So
and
we
the
can
blood
follow.
shooting out of
Yeah.
their throat when no one else can see it? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
it's like what Zamparian says: beauty needs a
Beauty needs
witness.
a witness. Yep.
It's like Genghis Khan assassination of entire swaths of bar cards needs an audience. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
I appreciate that.
yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, just
I
pillofied, I
think we've
guess.
enticed and confused everybody and in the best ways possible. And, just gave them a little taste, a little appetizer of what it is you do. And I hope people jump onto your course because um, it's the first like thing that made sense to me that, since I started trying to figure all this stuff out, it's like so much. And your course is so like wonderfully concise and easy to follow, but also funny. And there's plenty of off-color humor and cucumbers and and
Yep.
mankinis.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
there's really it's like something for everybody. So
Yeah.
so one stupid fuck and what else?
Or
That's your email.
for all the hotties, it's myfacesachair.com.
Got it. Right. I know. I love on your website. You were like, don't fucking message me unless you watched all my course or whatever. Unless you're a cute girl trying to get my attention, send me a fucking message.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, I am cute trying to get your attention, but I'm not going to bother you. So I didn't bother you. So
And then you finally did, and then here I am on your show.
and then
See?
I did. I know. I'm so glad because
I stay true to my word. See, it's like,
yeah, I thank you so much because I know like eventually you're already so busy, but I know that I'm glad you did my podcast before you get too cool for all us like peasants out here. So thank you for
no,
that.
I think it's, I don't really, that's not,
It was just a joke. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
In my head, I'm kind of like, whatever. I go on teeny tiny little shows all the time. I go on Telegram groups. I just can't stand the fucking DMs. That's what I can't stand because You're just one guy and you're wasting my fucking time and you should be watching shows and I'm about to block you. Like literally. Like you're so fucking annoying. Whereas like on a
Yeah.
show, it's like you can share it with all your friends, you can share it with all your family, and then now I don't have to get fucking DMs and it's perfect. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
So all the information's out there.
Unless it's like super hottie and she like starts out with like her and her fucking bikini or naked or something like that, then I'm like, oh, this is great. I love my DMs. But like besides that, I don't like it. It's horrible.
Right. No, I mean, so I got kicked off Facebook during COVID. And for some reason, like, I tried to make another one. They just let me back on, but like, I cannot get into my private messages. It's like thousands of freaks. Just, I can't go on there at all. So, yeah, no, and I'm not even like offering any cool information or anything like that. So,
Good times.
yeah, yeah,
It's nice to be wanted, I guess.
it's a weird world. Oh my God. Well, and on Facebook, there's no way to like disable the video calls. So I get like Habib and Juan Carlos Jose calling me all fucking night long. I have to keep my phone on silent and do not disturb all night long. Like I'll show you. It's creepy.
Just block them all. Can you block them
You
all? There's too
yeah,
many?
there's so many. It's just never fucking ending. Like it's crazy.
Jesus.
Like this is, I don't know if you can see, but this is my Facebook Messenger. It's thousands.
Oh my God.
I can't even, yeah,
Sheesh.
thousands of missed calls and unanswered. Facebook's so gross. Like I'm just trying to log on and see like my family's kids and stuff, or like
Yeah.
share a music video. But yeah, it's a weird world. But okay. So anyways, so if you're going to message Brandon, don't, unless you watched all of his courses, unless you're a hottie wearing his MILF bikini.
Delicious.
Did I get it? Is that
Totally. That's perfect. Or
anything
nothing.
else? Oh yeah. Anything else? Anything else we need the people to know?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna grovel because you don't like that, but I just want to tell you I'm so appreciative of all the information. I really had a blast like learning from you, and everything was
Thank you.
fun and awesome. And yeah, I was literally staring at your face for a month straight. So thank you. Yeah. So
my goofy face.
It's a wonderful face. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the humor and everything and your energy and the world. You make the world brighter. So thank you so much I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, maybe when I progress a little bit more on my journey and maybe, further down the line, maybe you'll come back on. We'll do an update and all the stuff if that's cool with you.
Or just a live pillow fight. Either way.
Done. Deal. You're drinking next time though, because
all right, we'll do. I'm going out tonight, so I normally do have a little whiskey while I do shows, but today I was kind of like, I'm going out tonight. I'm not gonna.
And it's early for you too. You're 3 hours behind, so it's like, what is it?
I don't want to be all drunk and then tired and then go out tonight.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Yeah, you don't want to be a downer. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you so much. You're awesome. And I'm so excited to keep watching your progress. I hope you just keep slaying out there. It's inspiring, gives us all confidence that we can do the same eventually. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.